So I just came back from Banff on the weekend. I went out there to Alberta with Dan and we went skiing and it was awesome. And I've been to Banff once before when I was like 13 or something like that. But then we went in the summer. This was my first time seeing Banff, known for its skiing and snowboarding hills, in the winter. It was just this perfect little village. Everything is in walking distance and they've got such environmental focuses and because it is a part of a national park, a lot of it, just the way the city looks, reminds me of like Parks Canada stuff, and of course Parks Canada is a huge component in Banff. The entire time I was there, I kept thinking about how, man, I don't want to go back to my real life after being here. And especially because so many people there are there to work and then to play, to do all the stuff that exists there after work, and to just be able to live in this beautiful place. And it was so happy and pleasant and I loved it. Not to mention it was gorgeous. Like, how can you beat the views that you see in a place that's just surrounded by mountains and trees? And we didn't see any wildlife, but it's a national park. There's no city lights, there's no street lights at nighttime. There's land bridges for animals to get over the highway rather than it being a cross street for a highway. And it's made me think a lot about timing, the timing of things. Like when an opportunity arises and how you're able to just make that work and just go and live your life. I don't think I was meant to live in a time where jobs existed. Or at least not the kind of jobs that I have. Part of me, you know, reading books like Lord of the Rings, which I've started reading again, by the way, I feel like I would have almost been better suited to just staying put and working in a place that's beautiful, like a hotel, as like the bar wench or something. And I know that the reality of that would be not probably pleasant at all, but just getting the timing right on things, finding the things that make you happy and being able to actually do them. Or I don't know. I'd love to travel all the time if I could, but I can't afford it. And I'd love to stay put where I am and do a bunch of cool things, but I can't afford it. I don't know. Doing the stuff that you're passionate about that potentially you don't get paid for or don't get paid enough for is difficult, because then you have to weigh it with the stuff that does make you money. And it all comes down to jobs and expectations and needs, just livelihood. I don't know. If someone else could take care of my livelihood, that would be amazing, but I can't do that. It sucks. So now I'm at this point where I've got a lot of really cool opportunities coming up and I'm excited about them. It's just the timing is so tough to sort out, and even when it's not just up to you and it's not just yourself holding the fate in your own hands, it becomes difficult and communications are confused or misread, and I don't know. I'd love it if everyone could just understand everything, if you don't have to play these kind of dances to make things work. I mean, what does that choice become? And like, how do you split that balance, you know? Is it just a matter of working so that you can survive and live the kind of life that you want, but maybe not like what you're doing? Or do you find the thing that makes you happy, but maybe doesn't make you enough money to be able to go above and beyond and do more extra things? Or is there enough of a mesh between the two that you can make both of them work? And if you find those two things and you're able to make it work, does it tire you out? What happens with that? I'm at this point where I've got this really exciting opportunity and I've confirmed it. It's confirmed. I'm not going to talk about it yet, so don't ask me. I'll talk about it when I'm ready to. But it's at the point where I've confirmed that this is happening and it's literally about to happen. But the communication around making it happen that I tried to gain clarification on just didn't go as I thought it would. And in order to make sure that all the moving parts work together seamlessly, you still have to like play that little game and make that dance and make sacrifices that maybe or maybe not work with your everyday life as you thought that they would. And anyway, what I'm saying is vague and I'm excited. And I'm excited to talk about this thing. But I'm very tired and I'm on the brink of being able to do something really cool and really awesome, and I don't want to fuck it up but also I don't want to mess with the balance of how things are, because if you mess with the balance of how things are, maybe you're gonna be left with nothing, you know what I mean? And that worries me because it constantly seems like I'm faced with opportunities that I get, but then I don't quite get. And then I lose everything that I thought I would. And I don't want that. That's for sure. I'll tell you about this soon enough. I promise. But for now, things are a bit weird and scary and still on thin ice, I guess. I didn't realize I was, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It was just, I got some news about the thing this evening that I wasn't expecting. It just took me off guard, and I'm feeling weird, and these emotions are displaced, but they've got nowhere to go, and I can't talk about it. So this nervous energy just has to go somewhere. And where do I always put it? On camera. Whether or not it always sees the light of day, that's another question, but on camera. Ultimately, I guess I wish that the timing of things always worked out perfectly, and I think it's so rare that that happens, and when it happens, it's awesome, and you want to push forward with it, and you get excited, and maybe you take liberties, and maybe you don't ask enough questions, and no matter what happens, it's not necessarily wrong how you deal with it, it's just scary until it happens. I think it's time for me to go. Dan's coming over with some pasta sauce, and we're gonna make some pasta. I've got some other things that I need to do, but I think at this particular moment, with what just happened, I need to calm down a second. We were gonna watch Icarus, that's what. Neither of us watched all of the films or most of the films that were nominated for the Oscars, and at the end of the day, we actually didn't even watch the Oscars, which is unusual for me, but it should be a good night, I hope. Need to breathe. I feel like I'm not breathing through this experience, which needs to happen, and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. I was worried that the thing that happened would happen, but everything will be fine, and okay. Until next time then.